Welcome to PyKids, a kid developer initiative. This is a series of classes for getting a basic understanding of Python, the programming language. This is your first class. Before we get started, let us first understand something fundamental. Why should we learn to program? Why should we learn to code? Coding gives us the power to create. It's both an art and a science. Very soon, everybody will need to code. This will become similar to learning mathematics in your school. Learning a programming language is a first step as a developer. It is start of a long journey. It's also important to learn the vocabulary of a programmer or a developer or a techie. As we move forward, you will surely discover the words by which a developer lives. Going forward, I will just refer to you as a developer. I like that word because it indicates you are developing something, creating or building something. There are many other things to learn, but we'll start with Python. Why Python though? It's a great language for beginners. It's very English-like. It's got a simple syntax. Of course, you will ask me what syntax is. Syntax of a language is a collection of rules to follow so that the language is understood by the computer. It's like a grammar of a language, say English. This is a simplification of what exactly is happening, but it will suffice for now. Another great thing about Python is that you can build almost anything with Python alone. It's called the batteries included nature of Python. You can build web applications, games, serious business or enterprise apps, mobile apps, even IoT apps. You can also do data analysis, create nice visualizations of data. All this with just one language. That's why Python. Okay, let us start by installing Python on your platform. You open your favorite browser. Let's go to python.org. So this is an HTTPS site. You can see the padlock here. Um, that is the preferred way of going to sites. If you have HTTPS enabled, that's a great thing. Now under this, go to the download section. Now I am on a Mac OS X Mac laptop, so I can download Python just by clicking this. If you're on Windows, follow the Windows link and you will find inside this, if I want to pick up a specific version, go to this latest version and within that you can find the files for installing Python. Pick up the executable installer, download this and follow instructions. You can, if you are on Linux, you can go and follow this other link. Here again something similar, but with Linux the good thing is that you don't have to install anything. Linux comes with an installed version of Python, so there is a default version bundled with Linux. You could just use that. Once you install it, you have to find out whether it's got installed properly. So let us open the Terminal app. Terminal app is available in all platforms. It's called Terminal in macOS and in Linux. For Windows, it's called the command prompt. I will keep calling it terminal from now on. I am using a program called iTerm, which is a better version of the terminal. So you are now on the terminal. As programmers, as developers, becoming comfortable with the command line or terminal is a very important thing. So I can just type in Python underscore dash dash version. It's dash dash, not underscore underscore. I am having a version of Python 3.8.1. I have installed this and this also tells me Python has been installed correctly. Now If you look at this, when you went to the download page, you saw 3.8.5. I have 3.8.1. Now, 3.8 is the major release, and these are features, major new features as part of the 3.8 series. So each version of Python, you will find each major version of Python, you will have a multiple number of new features and bug fixes. And then there is a maintenance version, that is 3.8.5. That means there are more bug fixes, small changes, which are not introducing big features, but small changes and bug fixes are present in the maintenance release. I am on 3.8.1. This is 3.8.5. As long as you have any version more than 3.7, we are good. Remember, 3.8.5 is the latest version and is later than 3.8.1. If you have a version 3.7, that's an older version. As the number increases, you are on a newer version. Now that you have got installed version of Python, you have your own version. Let me clear this out. Let us see how you can start learning Python. The simplest way to start learning Python is to open up the Python shell. All you have to do is type the Python command. This command opens up the shell. You can see it tells you the version of Python and gives you some copyright information. And this is your prompt for Python. So this shell allows you to give commands to Python. You give these commands and Python will execute them and give you results. You can try out different keywords, you can learn new syntax, you can try out language features. When you are even solving a problem, you can quickly try things, quickly try different ideas, get a sense of how the problem can be solved, and then move to the actual development of the problem. So this is a very nice way to get you started. The most traditional way of learning a programming language is to start by printing hello world. So I'm going to do the same. I typed in print. Print is a command in Python, and I'm going to ask it to print the sentence hello world. When this sentence executes, you see the Python prompt returns the result of hello world. You can change this by using arrow keys, right? So you can go up and down. Here if I use the arrow key to go up, and I can say hello there, and it will print that. So this feature of the terminal or the Python shell allows you to reuse type commands and quickly change things and experiment. Keep that in mind. How do you get out of the Python shell? Simply type exit with parentheses, and you are out of the Python shell and back to the terminal. Just to remind you, just type in Python, get into the shell, and type exit to get out of it. If you want to take a break now, this is a good time. After this, we'll jump into the language. Hopefully that break was good. Now let us get started with the language. We have covered all the Python setup related ideas, the concepts around that. Now it's time to explore the language. For that, we need to get into the Python shell. So we are right there. Let us start with simple calculations. You can use Python as your calculator. This is 200 star or asterisk 255. That is, asterisk is the sign for multiplication. So you see the result here. You can use arrow keys and change this to addition by using the plus symbol, or This is subtraction, right? And the last, not necessarily last, but this is an interesting one. This is division. There's one more, I think, which all of us would like to do, which is, any guesses what this is? This is exponentiation. So I have got 200 to the power of 2. I can do 200 to the power of 4 also. I can do much bigger numbers if you want. Let me just do up and add. There you go. All these symbols are called arithmetic operators. Operators is a general term because we are talking about doing arithmetic mathematics. That is why these are called arithmetic operators. There are other kinds of operators which you will learn later on. At this point, let me introduce Mr. Tenali. Tenali will be our character which we will use in many of our examples. So let us start with one. Tenali invested an amount of rupees 1 lakh into a savings account. He got a rate of 8% and he allowed this amount to collect interest for 5 years. Does it sound familiar? This is the simple interest calculation. So 1 lakh into 8, which is the rate in percentage, into 5 years divided by 100. So this is going to give me the simple interest which Mr. Tenali will earn after 5 years. Let us take another example. Let us say Tenali is trying to buy and sell things. He is a merchant. He bought a kg of apples for 125 rupees. He is selling them for 150 rupees. So this is the cost price. The selling price is 150 and I would like to find the profit percentage which Tenali earned. So I divide by the cost price and then I multiply by 100. That should work, right? 50%? Surely there is something wrong here, right? The difference is 25 and 25 by 125 is surely into 100 is surely not 50%. This is because there is an inherent order by which operators are evaluated in Python. So division and multiplication precedes addition and subtraction, and exponentiation will precede all 4 of them. In our case, what has happened is, because division precedes subtraction, 125 by 125 got divided first, right? So it got 1 and then 1 into 100 got multiplied and then that is just 100 and then 150 minus 100, that gave us 50. This is completely wrong. So how do you fix this? Simple. Just like you do in mathematics, use parentheses. When you do this, you get the right answer. So BODMAS applies for Python calculations too, and all calculation expressions are evaluated from left to right. There is another key concept which I want to teach in this session. This is called variables. Variables are a place to store information. They are a label to a value. You can refer to data in the form of variables. It's very similar to variables in mathematics. Let us do some variable assignments. Number of mangoes equal to 20. Number of mangoes is the variable 20 is the value, and you assign that value to the variable using the equal to sign. So now I have one variable. I can create another variable, mango owner, Shavatanali. Now I can use this variable in execution statements like print, which we did earlier. See, the variable was replaced with the value. Now it doesn't print mango owner, it actually prints Tenali, which is the value of mango owner. Okay, let us do some maths with variables. We'll go back to the simple interest example. Principal is 1 lakh. This is what Tenali invested. He got a rate of 8% and the time in years was 5. Variables can be long or short. You see, principal is kind of a long name, whereas time I have just marked as t. Python does not have problems with having a long or short name. It does not allow this though. If you use a number instead of a character as a start of a variable name, Python will not allow that. You can do this if you want, but not the other way. Also, variables can have separators like this. This also works. When you are playing with playing on the shell with doing some basic things, it's okay to use small variable names. I mean, it's okay to say p is equal to 1 lakh. But when you are writing programs, it's better to give proper names. Principle makes a lot of sense and easy to understand when you are reading the code later on. So choose your variable names wisely. Okay, let us get to do the calculation. Let us now just use arrow keys, and so if I look at principal, I have the value. If I look at rate, I have that value. If I look at t, I have the right value. So simple interest is equal to principal into rate into time by 100. Now I use simple. Oh, what went wrong? Oh, I missed the E in the interest. Let me correct that. So this is how Python will tell you that if you have not defined, if you have not initialized a variable with some value, it will say you have not defined it. So ensure that most times when you get this mistake, it is just that you got a spelling wrong or something like that. And if you see the value is right there now. Also remember, if you once name the variable wrong, you have to continue to make that mistake so that Python understands you are using that same variable. A name cannot be changed in between. So now you have the value of simple interest. Let me change my rate to, I can change the value of rate. And that's the best thing about a variable, right? You can change its value. Variables can change value. So I can change the rate to 10, and then if I try to calculate simple interest using the same formula as before, and then if I print that simple interest, I got a higher simple interest. So I change the variable name, and when I read the calculation, automatically the values used in the calculation changed and we got a different result. This is very powerful. This means I can define this formula once, keep changing the value and get different results. This is the power of variables. You will use variables across all code in Python. And this is not just Python, this is a common concept in any programming language. Every programming language will allow you to define a variable and assign values to it and keep changing that value. Also, with variables, you can see this is much more readable than what you had earlier. Earlier, remember when I started this without variables, I was doing this. Gives us the same result, but it is much less readable. This is way more readable, and that's why you will keep using good variable names throughout your development career. Okay, we have come to the end of today's session. So let me summarize. Programming is an essential skill. Python is your simple friend, but a powerful friend. You can install Python in your computer. Python has versions. The Python shell is a window to talk to Python. Python can do calculations using operators. Python variables make it easy to use data and also make the data readable. You can reach out to me if you have any questions through the comments. I will surely respond to them. Hope you had a good first class. Hope to see you in the next class too.